at any time, and North Korea has warned it will retaliate if they do. The UN Security Council today seemed powerless to stop it. Nearly 30,000 American forces are permanently based there and could become involved in a conflict between the two countries. And just a short time ago, South Korean residents of islands near North Korea were told to take cover. The live fire drills are not the danger. It's the promise of military retaliation from North Korea that has the entire region on pins and needles. North Korea says the drills are, quote, designed to ignite war at any cost. Tensions on the Korean peninsula had been growing since March when a South Korean warship sunk by a North Korean torpedo. North Korea denies the attack, and just last month, North Korea artillery fired a deadly barrage onto the island of Yeonpyeong, killing 4 people. In neither instance did South Korea retaliate, and CNN has reporters in key locations on this story. Our Wolf Blitzer is in North Korea with New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson. Kyung Law is in Seoul, South Korea. Also, reports from the United Nations where diplomats failed to reach consensus on a unified statement on the issue. And from our Washington bureau, what is playing out inside the White House and the Pentagon on this stalemate? We have the story covered for you. So let's go right now to CNN's Kyung Law. She is in Seoul, South Korea, where it is now noon on Monday. So Kyung, the order to take cover sounds very ominous. What's the mood in Seoul right now?
Well, certainly concerns are very high because there is a big question mark. What is the North Korean response going to be? What we know for certain is that South Korea's Ministry of Defense just a short time ago telling CNN that they will start live fire naval drills. That window of start time to begin in about an hour from now, and it could happen at any point during this afternoon. But the window to start those live fire drills begins in just about an hour. Now, as you mentioned, residents of 5 islands that border South Korea and North Korea have been told to take cover. There are up to 8,000 people who live on these islands. The cover that they're heading to are underground bunkers being prepared by the military. But some residents say they're not going to take any chances. We caught up with some taking the very last ferry off the island.
Carrying what they can, Yeonpyeong villagers head to what they believe is the last ferry off the island. Flanked by armed military personnel, evacuees boarded, carrying children and helping the elderly. I'm leaving because they said the drills are tomorrow, says 66-year-old Kim Ok-jin. She does not want to leave. Of course I'm angry, she tells me, but that's not going to change anything. The residents who are evacuating Yeonpyeong Island on this ferry haven't left just once. This is the second time that they're evacuating. The difference now, at least they have warning. Nearly a month ago, there was none before North Korean artillery shells landed in a stunning attack on the village, killing 2 civilians and 2 South Korean Marines. The village today, silence, few signs of life, except for military trucks patrolling and waiting. Not everyone is leaving. Song Young-ok hasn't been told to stop selling ferry tickets off the island or when the military drills will be. She'll stay behind, she says. For her and the several dozen others still here, these bunkers are where the military says she can find cover. Song wonders why it has to be this way. If we carry out the drills, she says, North Korea has said it will retaliate even more strongly. Going ahead with the drills, knowing this is pretty much picking a fight with them. As the ferry steams to the Korean peninsula, these elderly neighbors reflect on their divided homeland and the cost of a war that never truly ended. It's okay, says 83-year-old Lee Chun-yo, on the damage to her community and the pain of evacuating. The soldiers need to do them, right? The ferry now back, the islanders on the mainland. Family awaits. Take care, says Lee. Take care.
When these drills begin, South Korea's Ministry of Defense says that they are fully expecting some sort of response from North Korea. But what exactly that response is on, at this point, they simply don't know. But they say they are preparing for one.
All right, Kyung Law, I want you to stand by because we may come back to you. We're going to go now to CNN's Wolf Blitzer. We're going to go to North Korea. New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson is in Pyongyang right now at the invitation of North Korea. Although he is not there in any official U.S. role, he spent the past several days trying to defuse the situation. And our Wolf Blitzer is the only TV journalist traveling with the governor. He joins us now live by phone with exclusive coverage from inside North Korea. Wolf, what are you seeing and hearing there?
Well, the governor just wrapped up a very important meeting with the vice president of North Korea, Kim Young-dae. It was over at the People's Assembly. I was there, and I watched him go in, and it was a large North Korean delegation. He followed that up with a private meeting with the vice minister in charge of foreign affairs for the United States, Ri Yong-ho. And I don't know what was resolved, although Richardson briefly suggested that he was encouraged. I don't know what that means. I don't know what the North Koreans are saying, but he seemed to suggest that he got some, at least initially, positive responses to some of the proposals he's been making to ease this crisis. He's been working here for 4 or 5 days now to try to get this thing under control. It's, as he says, a tinderbox, as you know, Don, and it's a very sensitive situation. He's getting ready to leave here in about 4 or 5 hours to fly back to Beijing and then go back to the United States. So it's, he doesn't have a whole lot of time left, but they did welcome him in North Korea. He met with the top military leadership, the top foreign ministry leadership, and he culminated all of that today with this lengthy meeting with the vice president of North Korea. So we'll see. I suspect in the next couple hours we'll have a better sense. I know that there's some disappointment. I'm sure Richardson's disappointed that the United Nations Security Council failed to issue a statement, pass a resolution. He was hoping that something would come forward that might give the South Koreans some political cover to delay the start of their exercises. They were supposed to start over the weekend, but bad weather forced them to delay it at least until Monday. It's now Monday afternoon here on the Korean Peninsula. So we'll see what happens. The North Koreans have been making it abundantly clear to everyone, including me, that if the South Koreans engage in this live fire exercise at this Yeongyang Island, which the North Koreans attacked back on November 23rd, the North Korean military will respond, even if the South Koreans fire their shells southerly in a southerly direction into the waters, because the North Koreans claim those are sovereign North Korean waters, and it will be their responsibility to respond. So as you can see, it's a tinderbox right now, and let's just hope things calm down, but it's not looking very good.
Hey, Wolf, stand by. We're going to go back now to Kyung Law because we want to talk about the weather there. It had been said, Kyung, and you touched on this a little bit earlier, that these drills may have been postponed because of the weather. What's the situation like there now? It looks to be a bit hazy behind you, and have you heard anything about the delay?
It is hazy here in Seoul, but remember the islands are about 2 hours away via ferry on the water. Now, the weather is slightly different out there, and from what we understand, visibility near those islands is clear enough that these naval drills can take place. Now, they are shifting that start time. I mentioned that in about an hour from now is when we expect that window for the start for these live fire drills to open. And the reason why they're keeping it open is because there is that risk that the weather may cancel the live fire drills. From what we understand, though, the Ministry of Defense does feel fairly confident that the weather will clear up and that they will be able to start these drills as expected sometime this afternoon, Don.
Okay, Wolf Blitzer, listen, you said something earlier that I thought was very important. I said, why should people